all I can say is be here now and be sure to order one of the 356 final computers that we have for you that were just marked down. Listen, with an $1,158 retail value, this computer is built to last. It'll take you through at least the next decade. Equipped with a 17.3-inch diagonal LCD super fast screen and super bright screen. It has a built-in webcam, mini webcam. Also on the front end, and I call it the front end of the computer, you have 6 gigabytes of RAM. That's the memory that the computer requires to operate software. Storage capacity, half a terabyte. 500 gigabytes. And it was price cut this day only. You know, we never do this with computers. $569.95 with $420 worth of value-added software. When I tell you what we did next, you're going to flip out. Free shipping. That wasn't going to be on the this day only special. And 6 flex payments. We saved that for when and if we sold smart cars. Okay, 6 flex payments for $94.99. Are you kidding me? And it's a 4.5-star customer pick. Final quantity, though, we're going to show you at the bottom of the screen what we have left. 356 units. Please welcome Aaron Berger, who's our electronics expert in the world of computers, and he works for all of our computer guys. And okay, I know when you came in, because you didn't know you were coming in today.
No, it was a surprise.
Is this great?
This day only.
This is really great.
I don't get to offer Asus that much. It's one of my favorite brands to offer because, frankly, you get so much for your money with Asus. Asus is a name that probably is in your house already. The truth is, Asus makes a lot of computer parts for many very, very high-end, high-name computers. And then, you know, those companies charge more for their computers. You're getting the same parts in an Asus computer, which is certainly a tier 1 computer. There's so many things to love about this. Number one, the core. This is an Intel Core i3 processor. In fact, it's the lowest price we've had on the 17-inch screen, the 17.3-inch screen, which is an extraordinary look. It is like a multimedia experience. It's like having an IMAX in your house. It's huge and it's beautiful, but it still only weighs a little bit over 6 pounds. So it's our best value that we've done with the Intel Pentium Core i3 processor. So this is the best of the best. When we say, excuse me, not Pentium, I should say Intel Core i3, sort of, when you think of processor companies, there's everybody else, and then there's sort of Intel, right? And when you think of Intel's processors, there's everything else, and then there's their Core family, their Core 3, their Core 5, their Core 7. What it means is, while this computer is a dual-core computer, so it physically has 2 brains in it, 2 engines in it, okay? Each of those engines can think in 2 directions at the same time. It's called hyperthreading, and it makes the computer not only faster, but smarter. It's very, very intelligent performance. Bill mentioned a few other things. 6 gigabytes of RAM. You know, it's almost always in computers anywhere near this price that I have 4 gigabytes of RAM in the computer. That's important because RAM is really what allows your computer to run quickly when you're running multiple programs, and it also allows you to upload your web pages faster. So how often are you on the internet and you're like, man, the internet is slow today. The internet is so slow. No, the internet is not slow. The internet is not the weather, as Shannon Smith would say. It is not changeable. It's constant. Your computer might be slow because your computer might not have enough RAM, might not have a processor that's capable of all the things we do now with high-definition video and high-definition pictures and high-definition audio and all of these things. Okay, one other thing I've got to tell you, well, I've got a lot more to tell you, but one other thing off the bat that is different about this computer. This is the only brand about which I can say what I'm going to say. We're going to show it to you. This has something called accidental damage protection included. You know what it is? Do you know what a mulligan is in golf? Do you know what a mulligan is? I learned this growing up because my dad was a golfer, right? So actually I learned it in putt-putt, but Dad played it in golf. Like if you hit one bad shot during your whole, you know, 18 holes, you can hit that shot over. You get to call mulligan once. I mean, that's how some people play. So that's what mulligan means. Well, you basically have a mulligan with your computer if you drop it or if there's any sort of accidental damage to it.
If you have children who like to drop your computer, you're in good shape.
Absolutely. You get it for a full year. Anything that happens in the full year. Lord knows I've dropped computers. You can look at it on YouTube. So accidental damage protection included with your warranty. The asterisk is there just because you do have to register your warranty when you get the computer home. There's a little card in your box that tells you how to do that. There's a support hotline available 24/7, 365 days a year in English and in French. There's live chat support available and service through Asus.com. But I really want you to focus on that top line because it's a very expensive bill, as you know, to buy insurance on your computer. This accidental damage protection protects you against, like I said, power surges, water, drops, spills, all of those little accidents that happen to your computer all the time, you're protected. You get one mulligan in that first year.
You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I think it was last week, I was working with Gateway Joe. I think Aaron was out of town, and we had an Asus computer, and I learned that the motherboards for most of the most of the brand name laptops in the world are made by Asus. So they thought, well, if we're making the motherboards, why don't we just make a computer? And they're smart to do that. So you're really taking advantage of, I would say, probably the best of both worlds. They make the motherboard, they make the innards of the technology. Aaron's going to take you on a guided tour of the rest of the hardware, because this is chock full of everything. I mean, today when you buy some of the netbooks, some of the tablets, you don't even have a burner. This will let you burn music, it lets you burn movies much faster than before. It's ultra thin, it's black, and it has kind of a corrugated look to it. So it's a beautiful finish to the computer, and this is a limited quantity purchase. So if you want it, there are 340 remaining. This is scheduled to sell out in our show together tonight. If you want it at free shipping and on 6 flex payments, it's a this day only, it's a this hour only special. It's not going to be seen later on tonight. Aaron, top down, I mean, there's nothing left out, and there's everything you want in a computer.
Let's take a look. Let's go through. So maybe you have a checklist in your head. You think, I want a high-definition webcam, check. You want a DVD burner, check. You want an SD card slot, check. You want an HDMI port, check. You want 3 USB ports, check. You want a USB 3.0 because it's the latest, check, check, and check. You want a high-definition 17-inch screen. You get where I'm going, right? I'm going to walk you around and show you all of those things, but really, I cannot think of anything for which this computer could want. There's nothing else you can put on a computer, to my knowledge. So here, this is a big deal. To start with the optical drive, especially, well, really in any price range, you know, over 50% of the computers sold in the United States now do not have an optical drive. I don't know about you, I still want an optical drive. We're including over $420 of additional software for you to put onto your $420 of additional software for you to put on your computer. Plus, I have software. I'm sure you have software. I want to have a disk drive. I want to have an optical drive. I want to be able to watch my DVDs. I want to be able to burn my music to listen to in my car. I want my tunes, right? So you have an optical drive built in, and that's on this side. Very, very sleek, by the way. It's an incredibly sleek computer, I think. Then coming around to the front, there's an SD card reader. So this reads actually multi-cards, SD card, XC card, MMC card, all your different cards. Then on this side, there are 3 USB ports. There's a USB 3.0 port. That's important, gang. That port actually transfers information up to 10 times faster than your standard USB port. Two more, I would say, standard or USB 2.0 ports. There's an HDMI port, so you can send high-definition video and audio with one cable from this computer to a screen. There's a VGA port, so you could plug into another monitor if you wanted, even an Ethernet port. The Ethernet port is great for networking or if you want to hardwire the internet for any reason, but you should know this. This has wireless N capability. So the wireless card in here is the latest internet protocol in the world. It's called wireless N, and it actually moves faster than any of the previous protocols, and you can be further away from your router if you have a wireless N router as well. What it all boils down to is everything you need. You know if your computer's slow. You absolutely know. If you go to it and you're looking at a circle all the time, you're looking at an hourglass all of the time. And the other thing is, you know, if you have upgraded your other electronics, you've upgraded your tablet, you've upgraded your cell phone, you've upgraded your GPS. The fact remains, so many of us have neglected upgrading our laptops, and the laptop is the foundation on which all of those are run, right? You plug your tablet into your computer to update it. You plug your phone into your computer to make sure all of your information is stored. So if your laptop isn't running well, Bill, you're not really able to utilize as fully the rest of the electronics in your home, typically.
I just think that if you're looking to invest in a computer, why do you want to go out and spend a fortune for a computer that doesn't have half of the artillery that this computer features? And why would you want to go out and buy a computer and sacrifice not having great software, not having a fast processor, like the #1 selling processor right now in America is the Intel Core i3 processor from, Microsoft, from Intel. And here's the other thing. With Microsoft Windows 8, you have the best of both worlds because you have the new operating system, which many of you may have been contemplating upgrading your operating system. Why pay for the upgrade in the operating system when that's going to cost you about $200? when you can invest that in a brand new computer that's crisp, that has hardware that's much more updated than the computer you had 10 years ago, that's faster, and we didn't even get into the software. The value-added software that we're including, you don't get when you buy a computer off the shelf. And here are some of the software titles that we want to go through.
Absolutely. So by the way, these are all full version, non-expiring software titles. So think free Office. Think about that. That actually is compatible with your Word document, an Excel document, and that. Think free Office, full version of it. Movavi Photo Suite, Better Photography 101. That's an online photography training class. It's awesome. Movavi Video Editor, because all of a sudden you have a processor that's strong enough to really edit your videos, and it's not slow anymore. Memories on TV 4, PC Tune-Up, Auto Save Essentials, Meal Easy, Hallmark Card Studio, the most popular title at HSN. We're including Hallmark Card Studio Express 6. Family Tree Maker Workshop, great for genealogy, Budget Tracker Deluxe, and then really fun games. Fever Frenzy, Solitaire Mania, and Sudoku Puzzle Addict. Everything you could want. I am excited for you. Like Bill said, we have one opportunity. We have right now. It's the only chance I'm going to get to sell this guy, unfortunately. If you've wanted a computer that allows you to do more quickly, that maybe is easier to see, if your eyesight's maybe not as good as it used to, I know mine's not as good as it used to be. None of us are getting any younger. Not one person on the planet is getting any younger. It's nice to have a screen this big. Now, with many other 17-inch laptops, this would be very heavy. It would be, 10 pounds. This weighs a little bit over 6 pounds. So it's lightweight. It truly travels with you, but you still get...
lightweight.
Don't you think? Well, you can tell when you pick it up.
17-inch.
Exactly. Because you know what 17-inch computers typically weigh.
Usually they weigh a ton.
Yeah.
And if you buy some of the metal case brand computers, they weigh about double that, maybe almost triple that. And you know what? It doesn't feel like a toaster oven on your lap. They call them a laptop because they're designed for you to use when you're sitting on the sofa or laying in bed. But you know what? The old computers would warm up your legs, and not pleasantly. Here's the thing. Only for this hour, this day only, $569.95 is your price, scheduled to sell out in this hour. We gave you VIP flex pay on this, if there were such a thing. 6 flex payments for $94.99. And guess what? It's customer appreciation month, so you're going to see a lot of this during the month. It's a this day only, which is already a 4.5-star customer pick. With $420 worth of quality software, customers love Asus. Again, the leading motherboard manufacturer in the world that puts them into most laptops. You probably have a laptop right now that's probably, if it's a Windows-based platform, with a motherboard from this company. So now, we haven't even gotten into the demonstrations. Windows 8, it's so cool. I don't have Windows 8 still.
Windows 8 is wonderful.
I will not buy the upgrade until I buy a new computer.
I don't think you should. Yeah. Quite frankly, I think you should wait until you're ready to buy a new computer.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It just makes more sense. But what's even more exciting to me, absolutely, is the Core i3. So I want to show, we have some animations we're going to show you on Core i3. It has something called hyperthreading in it. It has something called turbo boost in it. The Core i3 is amazing. So this is the processor that you're getting. Think of a typical processor, a dual-core processor has 2 brains. And you'll see this computer actually has 2 brains. And you'll see in just a minute, well, this is sort of a single-core processor that we're seeing. And then this single core, because this is a dual-core processor, becomes 2 pieces of hardware, 2 brains. So that's exciting to start with. Information flows more quickly. But when we show you hyperthreading, this is what absolutely makes this revolutionary. It is the only processor, the Core family, the only processors with hyperthreading. What it means is each of those processors can do 2 things at once. So think, if you could fill 2 coffee mugs at one time, and you were, a waitress, you were Flo, you'd be able to fill up the diner with coffee mugs with coffee twice as fast, right? It's the same idea. Each core, each brain can process sort of twice as quickly because of hyperthreading. So it's like having a virtual quad-core computer, but you're not paying a quad-core price. It feels like a quad-core computer in its performance, and it's from Intel. So that hyperthreading is a really big deal. It also has something called HD graphics. So for anything you watch that's high definition, this is designed to keep up with high definition video, those sort of things. We're going to show you that right now, actually. So in the Core family, there's the Core i3. The high-def graphics are absolutely out of this world. They make for an experience that's up to 2 times better with 3D graphic performance. So twice as good on this computer. It's smooth, the high definition playback. If, sometimes other computers are kind of herky-jerky. You get mainstream 3D graphic performance, but you don't have the price of a card. You would typically, to get this kind of performance, have to buy a separate graphics card for your computer. Like Bill said, Asus makes some of the best computer parts in the world. They are the #1 maker of motherboards, for goodness sakes. They're probably, if you have a computer that you spent a lot of money for, can pretty much guarantee you there's a good chance that an Asus motherboard is in it already. You're getting the full deal today. Frankly, if you've wanted a new computer, if you're tired of waiting on your old computer, if you're thinking summer's coming, you want a computer that you want to be able to get outside, right? We're also tired of being cooped up. You want to be able to take your computer with you. This is lightweight. It has the fastest internet protocol in the world. We've included software that you won't find anywhere else. And I want to remind you again, I think we might even have a different still that we can show you about that accidental damage protection. I think it is one of the biggest things about this computer. It's the only brand I have ever sold. I've been at HSN 7.5 years. This is the only brand that I have ever sold about which I can say there's accidental damage protection. That means in the first year, if you have any sort of damage, if you have a spill, if you have a drop, if you have an electrical surge, any kind of damage to the computer, Asus will replace your computer. You get one mess up, one spill. Well, I call it a mulligan. That's what we call it in my family. There's also a support hotline available 24/7, 365 days a year. So that's, always. Live chat support's available and service and support's available through Asus.com as well. From nuts to bolts, I know Bill needs to update you guys on what's going on with quantity, and then I'm going to hop in the computer. I'm going to show off the video camera for you. The webcam on this is awesome, and then I want to show off some of the features of Windows 8 as well.
Okay, so here's what's happening now. Now there are fewer than 300 remaining, and you know what? I don't want to ever drive anybody to buy anything from HSN or anywhere that I've ever worked in my life that you don't need or want. Okay, but let me tell you something. When we are together and you and I are shopping with our special guests like Aaron, and we give you all of the rundown on what's in a product, you have to remember, you can go into any of the big box stores, and you're going to be reading a box, and hopefully you'll be able to interpret what's in that box. You have 8 minutes left to take advantage of this offer that is a this day only special. At midnight, the 6 flex payments, the free shipping, the special savings in price of $30 off of a computer. We don't mark down computers normally. Unless we're doing a today's special, we give you a bonus for the day, and then at midnight the price goes back up. So with the $420 worth of software, the accidental damage protection, which means if you drop it, crash, you break the case, the chassis, the screen to smithereens, you call Asus, they'll replace the computer.
Isn't that awesome?
For 1 year. I don't know anybody that does that
Nobody
without
does.
charging you for a premium protection program.
They don't.
You need to buy this computer. If you're looking for Windows 8 and an upgrade, it doesn't make sense to invest that $200, haphazardly into an old computer with a slower processor, with a, maybe a configuration that does not work. Just buy a new computer. This is the way to do it.
Yeah, take the jump. I mean, HSN has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so we're not like other places where you would have to pay a restocking fee on your computer, up to 15% or so. We don't do that. We want you to be surprised and delighted by everything you get here. I feel very personally confident that you will be with this. Everyone likes the bigger screen. Everyone likes having, I want to just point this out as well, everyone likes having not only the full Alpha keypad, but the full numeric keypad on the side as well. It makes your computer so much more convenient. And there's just something to be said. I love my tablets. My gosh, I love my tablets. I love selling tablets. I like demonstrating tablets. But the truth is, when you need to get things done, your computer is your go-to device. And think of how many times a day you go to your computer, for goodness sakes. In the morning for email, and then for Facebook, maybe webcamming with the family later, looking up recipes, emailing back and forth to your kids' school. You use your computer all day, every day. If you're waiting on your computer, you're wasting a ton of time. I'm going to shrink now. Bye-bye. Because I want to show you guys the webcam, my built-in webcam, which is right here on my computer. So, beautiful webcam, really clear, really nice, clear, crisp, good color representation. I'll remind you very briefly about our Viper antivirus. Bill and I both use this product and love it very much. This protects 10 computers for the lifetime of 10 computers, and Tax Act is included with it as well now. So anyway, there'll be some information on your screen about that at some point.
Well, it's on 4 Flex, by the way, this hour only.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. 10 licenses. Now listen, you do need to listen to what Aaron's telling you about Viper, but for the 4 Flex payments will expire at the end of this hour. Okay,
awesome. So that's the scoop on Viper. You don't have to pay for Viper every year. It protects 10 computers for the life of 10 computers. It automatically updates every day, unlike the other ones you have to every year you have to pay a new fee. Oh, and just one other really quick thing, adware. You know, a lot of people are using free antivirus, and what that does is it puts adware all over your computer and makes it so slow. Just get Viper. Trust me on this one. Get Viper. Okay, so there's the webcam. I wanted to show you the webcam and how beautiful it is. I'm going to hop into Windows 8. So this is what we would call the Metro view of Windows 8, which is sort of the new view of Windows 8, if you will. And it allows for these squares, or they're called tiles. They're called live tiles. And live tiles are basically your programs. They update in real time. So like if you have Facebook, it'll update from Facebook. It'll update, the news will update. You can see over here, I've got like some travel information up and that sort of thing. This is the travel tile that I can go into. Look how beautiful that is. So if you wanted to do a little traveling, you could go into the travel tile. It gives you all these featured destinations. I love to go into panoramas. I've never been to Milan. Let's see, where do we want to go, Billy? Kuala Lumpur, Istanbul, Ho Chi Minh City, Los Angeles, Paris, or Milan? Okay, Paris. Good idea. So we're going to hop right into Paris. Here we go. And then we've got a 360-degree view of, look at that, the Louvre and the very controversial glass pyramid that they put in the middle of the Louvre's garden area. So hopping back out, there's Windows 8. I want to show you something. If you're thinking, but what about Windows? I know my desktop and I'm really comfortable with it. Never fear. Look, I just hopped into the desktop version of Windows 8 as well. So you can operate in Windows 8's Metro mode or in what they call the desktop mode. What I'm saying is you never have to be afraid that like, oh, I'm not going to know how to do something. I've just finally learned Windows 7 or I've just finally learned how to use my desktop. It's totally user-friendly and you can sort of go between those two modes, whichever one is more comfortable to you.
And you know, if you ever get lost, you just start typing and Windows 8 is intuitive enough to let you know. Aaron will demonstrate that. And if you just take your cursor and you just swing it to the left, it'll open up your charm bar. So if you ever get lost, I mean, Windows 8 really made it smart. Plus, they built in a tutorial so that when you go from Windows Vista or if you have Windows XP or if you're on Windows 7, it'll make it seamless going to this next stage of the operating system. It's powerful. Core i3 processor. Remember, you've got 6 gigs of RAM to operate all your software seamlessly. You've got a half a terabyte or 500 gigabytes of memory, built-in webcam, the upgrade to Windows 8, $420 worth of great software, and it's not throwaway software, and you only have 4 minutes left for the 6 flex payments with no restocking fee if you need to ever exchange or return a computer, plus 1 year accidental damage, and if you want the Viper antivirus, set up 10 licenses. Today's the day to buy it because you're going to get that home on 4 flex payments only for the next few minutes until the end of this hour. Free shipping, we don't offer that unless it's a today's special. You get free shipping and handling. I mean, I'm saying that if you want this computer, now there's with everybody shopping, there are fewer than 200 remaining. Now, we always tell you that because there's about 150 people, 200 people ordering. There's what, 200? They're going to be, at the end of this show, there'll be 50 for the rest of the night, and people will be trickling in, and they order the computer normally after a presentation. So whatever you see that we have left on our big, late, great computer counters, people buy these after the presentation because a lot of them will go and they'll use their HSN card, or they'll say, oh, you know what, I got to talk to my husband, and an hour later they'll call, or I'll talk to my wife or my spouse, whatever. Call us. Try the computer. You have our 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Top down, Aaron. You can do this. I know you're fast. 1 minute and 30 seconds. No What's on the computer?
It's got the processor is the most important thing. The fact that it has that Core Intel processor, the Intel Core i3, I should say, and it is indeed the lowest price we've ever done on a 17-inch computer with the Core processor. I have to tell you, that's just something you have to know. We don't do this price on this size computer, this beautiful size screen, very hard to source, and a processor that's this quick. A 500 gigabyte hard drive. We haven't shown you yet, so we'll show you how much a 500 gigabyte hard drive can hold. It's a ton. Like Bill said at the beginning of the show, it's half a terabyte. So you can really store a ton of information in terms of your songs and your videos and your photos. So we'll get that still up for you. Actually, we're going to show you right now. 100,000 songs will go on this computer that weighs only a little over 6 pounds. 500 hours of video, for goodness sakes. It's a ton of video. It's 20 days and 20 nights of video. 160,000 photos. And remember, you have the SD card in the front. You can plug into the SD card if you want to add photos that way, or of course you can download them as well. 6 gigs of RAM. RAM is something that's a little hard to explain. RAM allows for you to multitask better on your computer, and it also makes your web pages load faster. How often are you on the internet and you're like, the internet's slow today?